Good evening, San Diego. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis, and thank you for tuning in for your CBS 8 Plus weather update. Today was a toasty one out there, pretty mild actually, but you're still talking about temperatures above seasonal, so a little toasty when you're talking about double digits for a degree difference, and that's with 77 degrees. That was a high today for Ramona. Well, the average high is 66, so we're definitely feeling these warmer than usual temperatures out there, widespread 70s in the forecast, and we're going to hold on to some warmer than usual temperatures as we go into the start of next week. So not breaking out of this pattern just yet. We still have Santa Ana winds that are blowing out there, and they have not been very strong. You're talking about the teens, 20s, 30s when it does come to those wind gusts, especially by the afternoon hours, and everything calms down once we get into the evening. So periods of Santa Ana winds really favorable right there along coastal mountain slopes. Still in our forecast all the way through Thursday. Also a ridge of high pressure building in. That's going to bring more heat for tomorrow, so that's why we're right back into that territory of being about 10 to 15 degrees above seasonal for this time of the year, and that brings widespread 80s across the inland valleys as well as for the desert. Minor day-to-day changes are expected, and that's going to be from Thursday all the way until Saturday, and that's because temperatures are going to be just a degree or two different as we go through that time period. So not a big difference in our temperatures, and then a gradual slip in temperatures as onshore flow starts to pick up a little bit more. We start to see the return of the marine layer as well. That's going to be Sunday all the way through the middle of next week. When we look at our overnight lows, widespread 50s and 40s in the forecast. So still being on the cool side to kick off the morning. 48 degrees that's expected for Miramar, as well as 46 degrees. That's a little bit more on the chilly side, and that's going to be for Oceanside, but widespread 50s out there. You have 50 degrees for Escondido, 53 degrees expected for Poway, as well as for downtown. You also have those 50s and 40s extending into the mountains. So temperatures on the cool side, of course, naturally start off the day, but then we get right to the heat. We are not looking at a marine layer as we go from tonight through tomorrow morning, and that's going to allow our temperatures to quickly warm up with this strengthening ridge of high pressure that is overhead. That brings in those 80s. 80 degrees for Escondido tomorrow, 80 degrees for La Mesa as well. You have 81 degrees for Fallbrook, 70s right there along the North County coastline, 73 degrees for downtown. Also talking about the 80s returning to the desert starting tomorrow. For the coast, you have your surf forecast about 2 to 4 feet, sets up to 5 feet, and a moderate risk of rip currents at our local beaches, and we have a northwest groundswell. So we're going to continue to have those moderate risk, at least when it comes to those rip currents, at least through the next couple of days. So that's also something to be mindful of. You have this big ridge of high pressure that is dominating over the west. It intensifies just a little bit more, changing that air mass to those orange shades, and that starts to bring in those warmer temperatures. As mentioned, cruising above seasonal, 10 to 15 degrees above seasonal, especially inland, more on the subtle side, about 5 to 10, and that's going to be closer towards the coast. But this ridge of high pressure will stick around in our forecast. We have a series of lows that are going to be dropping in just towards the east of us. That's where you see more of the colder air mass, especially across the Great Lakes. But that's going to help that area of high pressure to amplify a little bit more. So keeping it strong all the way through Friday. That allows our temperatures to stay on the warm side, staying warmer than usual, and then we go into the weekend and not really that much of a difference. It's not until we get to about Tuesday of next week we have a subtle difference. So you have the 80s for daytime highs across the inland valleys from tomorrow all the way until Monday on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. You're also looking at those 70s. That'll be for the coast. Lots of sunshine in the forecast. We start to see more of the high clouds making their way in, as well as the repeating marine layer over the weekend and all the way into the start of next week. Only a subtle difference with temperatures. So you go from those 80s for the inland valleys all the way through Monday, but then you're back into the upper 70s by Tuesday of next week, and that's because of weak onshore flow starting to pick up. We also have those 60s that are going to be dominating across the mountains. So clear skies out there from Wednesday all the way till about Saturday. Start to see more of the introduction with the cloud cover, indicating that onshore flow is picking up back in our forecast. Also the 80s across the desert, and you're going right back into those upper 70s. That will be by Tuesday of next week, and that's still a warmer than usual temperature. So we're going to stay in this range for a little while longer. I hope you're having a great night. Thanks for tuning in.